Paano kung sabihin ko sa'yo na lahat ng alam mo sa negosyo ay puro kasinungalingan? I'm Fibo Lim and I run a marketing firm that has generated over 13 billion in client sales over the last decade. And I discovered 7 biggest lies in business na nagpapahirap sa mga Pilipino. Number 1, customer is always right. Pag may nagsabi sa'yo nito, walang alam yun sa pagninegosyo. Okay, imagine a wedding mo and you notice na maraming tao gusto pumunta sa wedding mo. Yung kapitbahay mo, lahat ng mga friends mo sa Facebook at mga kaibigan ng kaibigan mo. And you wanna please everyone. So what happened is you let everyone in. Okay, here's my question. What would happen ba? Maging magulo yung wedding mo. And most likely, you wouldn't love your wedding. The lesson here is this, no? The quality of your wedding would depend on the quality of people there. And that's the reason why we don't want to invite everyone. We only want to invite our closest loved ones. Now, the reason bakit ko to shinare, it's because all our customers want something from us. Pero I want you to understand na yung mga customers natin, they don't care about your business. They don't care about kung kumikita ka. No, they don't care about your situation. They only care about themselves. If you say na customer is always right, no, you basically are saying na you wanna please all of them. And it's kind of like saying na lahat ng bisita, kumbaga pinapapasok mo lahat ng bisita sa wedding mo. Now, if you do that in your business, malulugi ka. I want you to understand, yes, customer is not always right. However, the right customers are always right. Ano ibig sabihin ng right customers? Ito yung mga taong hindi ka binabarat. Ito yung mga taong hindi reklamador. Ito yung mga taong madaling kausap, no? Ito yung mga taong nagbabayad ng tama. We call this our dream clients. Kumbaga, just imagine sa wedding mo, no? You only invited your loved ones. Kaya, okay lang na you allow their requests. In business, customers are not always right, but the right customers are always right. Now, the thing is, we start defining who are our right customers. And by understanding sino mga right customers mo, you stop serving everyone's request and you start only serving the request of the clients that you want to work with. Number 2, sipag at tiyaga. Kung yan ang advice sa'yo, niluloko ka lang nila. Now, imagine na nag-grocery kayo ng nanay mo, no, sa Save More. And sabi niya, nak, no, dalhin mo yung isang sagong bigas. Dalhin mo siya sa counter. So, anong gagawin mo? Option A, pwede mong buhatin na mag-isa yung isang sagong bigas sa counter. Or option B, gagamit ka ng push cart. Anong gagawin mo? Okay, most likely, you're gonna use option B, tama? However, I'm gonna tell you that in reality, most people use option A. They think na for them to get faster results is they just have to work harder. Pero it's kinda like carrying the one sack of rice instead of using the push cart. Ngayon, if sipag at tiyaga was true, how come hindi naman yumayaman yung mga fishermen at farmers natin? Diba? Kasi just imagine, they're under the sun all the time, they work every day, and they were doing that for the past 20 years. Yes, it's because kulang yung sipag at tiyaga. Yes, sipag at tiyaga is necessary, pero it's not the secret. It's actually the bare minimum. So the secret talaga is what you call leverage. No, it's just like using a push cart to carry the sack of rice. That's leverage. Ngayon sa negosyo, there are 4 C's of leverage. Okay? First is what we call collaboration. Ito yung using other people's time, other people's energy by outsourcing or hiring people. That's the first type of leverage, collaboration. Second is capital. Obviously, the more capital you have, the more leverage you have, the more resources you have, no? So capital and money is also a type of leverage. Pero meron tayong pangatlo. This is what we call content or media. The reason why it's a leverage, kasi just imagine shooting just one video. For example, in this case, I'm shooting a video, pero millions of people can see this video na. So, what do you call that? Leverage. And lastly, fourth is what we call code. Code naman is if you're using apps, you're using tools, you're using AI. This helps do stuff faster. So, yung sipag at tiyaga, it's just the bare minimum. But for you to thrive in life, you have to use leverage. Number 3, follow your passion. Pag may nag-advise sa'yo nito, most likely walang pera yun. Alam mo, I had a friend who made $1 billion last year. And I asked him this question. No? Sabi ko, if you have all the money in the world, ano ba yung gagawin mo ngayon? Kaya alam mo sagot niya? Sabi niya, play Dota all day. Yes, Dota is his passion. And nagtanong ako, bakit? Why didn't you focus on that? Okay? Sabi niya, bro, Dota will make me happy, but it won't feed my family. So what happened was, years ago, he started an e-commerce business and now it's already making $1 billion a year. So natatawa talaga ako sa mga taong nag-a-advise na, follow your passion. Okay? Because yes, it's kind of true. Masasabi ko it's kind of true. It's because follow your passion is only applicable if all your needs are already met. Kumbaga, buhay ka na. Pero if you're still starting and some of our passions are non-money making, for example, let's say playing basketball, playing chess, something like that, no? Ngayon, it's a different story if sobrang galing mo and you're now a pro player. Good news, you can make it a career. Pero for most of us, our passion is, it's not our job, right? So I want to share you my story, no? So, yung passion ko is pag-create ng content, pag-speak on stage, no? Impacting lives, speaking, training, educating. That's my passion. Kaya lang, if I did that a decade ago, okay, I would be sleeping on the streets right now. Okay, so what I did, obviously, is I built companies. I can do what I love. And that's what happened. Na I built a supplement company, services company, brokerage company, whatever, para I can do what I'm doing right now. The lesson that I learned here is find something that fills in your pocket and find another thing that fills in your soul. Hindi kailangan pareho yung dalawa. By the way, kung negosyante ka pero pakiramdam mo ikaw pa rin gumagawa ng lahat at gusto mo magkaroon ng system that works even without you, join me in my upcoming scaling workshop kung saan I will reveal how to build a system that brings in high-paying clients without relying on referrals. At dahil subscriber kita, I'm giving you a free ticket to join this event. Claim it, click the link in the description or go to fibolim.com/scale. Number 4, mag-business ka para hawak mo yung oras mo. Pag may nagsabi niyan sa'yo, walang alam yun sa pagninegosyo. Quick story, during my experience as a first-time parent, no, syempre nakita ko sa newsfeed ko na parang ang saya maging parent, no? And what ended up happening was I was excited na manganak yung asawa ko. But in reality, after pala ng anak yung asawa ko, nasira yung schedule ko, nagbago yung routine ko, parang nagbago talaga yung buhay ko. And I thought masaya siya. And yes, masaya naman siya. Pero mas nag-exceed pa yung stress kesa saya. And I asked my friends, sabi ko, ganito ba talaga yung buhay bilang parent, no? And sabi nila, no, na hindi mo daw may experience yung totoong saya. And may experience mo pa yan kung 6 years old na yung anak mo at pag nagsasalita na talaga yung anak mo. And here's what I learned through that conversation. Kailangan mo pala pagdaanan yung stress, yung pagod, para ma-experience mo yung sinasabi nilang saya, yung sinasabi nilang child-parent relationship. So the reason why I share that is because having a business is like raising a child. Na sa simula, it's difficult, it's stressful, and people like quit their 8-hour jobs hoping na hawak nila oras nila, but they quit their 8-hour jobs to end up working 16 hours a day. But the problem is, when they experience that, they quit. They think na, oh, I hate business, it's worse than work. But what they didn't realize is it's kind of like raising a child na sa simula lang yan mahirap. Pero over time, that child becomes responsible, nagkakaroon siya ng buhay, they start following instructions, they start having their own life, and yung management mo sa kanya would be lesser and lesser. And just like in business, it's gonna be like that for years or even a decade. But unfortunately, people start a business and in their first year, they expect na, I can be a millionaire and I can be my business can run without me. I want to understand na, yes, possible that your business can run and hawak mo yung oras mo, pero hindi yan mangyayari pag less than a decade pa yung negosyo mo. Number 5, dapat hands-on ka sa negosyo. Alam mo ba na kapag pinabayaan mo lang ang empleyado mo, tataas ang sales ng negosyo mo? Ngayon, I want you to imagine na nagpapatayo ka ng bahay and you want na ikaw talaga yung gusto mag-construct sa bahay mo. So, ginawa mo is nag-ano ka ng cement, and since bago ka pa lang, yung ginawa mo is you mix the cement with water and nilagay mo na siya sa walls. Kaya lang, what end up happening is sobrang excited mo and you kept touching it, no? Instead of letting it dry, kinakalikot-kalikot mo yung cement, yung nilagay mo. Now, what do you think would happen? Most likely, the structure would not be stable. And I hope na hindi ka titira doon kasi hindi stable yung structure. So, just to give you context kasi, no? Important process kasi na after mo isa-cement yung isang building, no? You have to leave it alone. No? It's called the setting and curing process. And alam mo ba na yung hardening process ng cement takes around 30 days. The longer it takes, the more it would harden, the more siya mag-stabilize. So the lesson here is that you need to leave it alone because cement gets stronger when you leave it alone. And it's kind of like in business, okay? Siyempre, negosyo yan natin. Iniisip kasi natin na I'm always there, dapat kinakalikot ko yung mga whatever sa team. What's happening is this, no? Just like me, when I was too hands-on in the business, I kept changing the process almost like every week. And I want you to understand that changing something doesn't always mean it's good. Meron kasi tayo tinatawag na cost of change. So the cost of change is every time we change something, we kill the momentum of the team, and what ends up happening is bumabalik sa learning phase ang team. So, kumbaga pag may binago tayo, sure negative na yon kasi adjustment period na naman sa team. Compared sa paghinayaan lang natin, and what ends up happening is the team gets momentum, gumagaling sila, and they do things faster. Kumbaga, if your business right now is already making money and there are other important things na kailangan ng oras mo, okay lang na hayaan mo sila. And leaving them alone does not mean na kumbaga irresponsible kang negosyante. It just means na you're giving them time na gumagaling sila sa work nila. Number 6, okay lang konti kita basta dami benta. Narinig mo na ba ito sa mga insik? Paano kung in-advise ito sa'yo para mag-feel ka? Alam mo, my dad had a motor shop business no, when I was still young. And I remember na naging cashier ako doon, no? And naalala ko na nagbibenta kami ng mga motor parts na tagpipiso lang, okay? And sabi ko sa dad ko, Dad, kumikita ba talaga tayo dito? And sabi niya, kumikita naman pag marami bibili. And years later, nag-close down yung store, and I asked my mom and I realized na mas malaki pa pala yung kinikita ng nanay ko, which is isang empleyado, compared sa kinikita ng tatay ko, which is isang negosyante. So that's when I realized na hindi ibig sabihin pag mura, mas better. Hindi ibig sabihin na pag marami benta, mas better. In fact, over a year ago, I invested tens of thousands of dollars for a mentorship of a billionaire. Okay, so ang nangyari kasi is I want to scale my events business, and this person, he's the CEO of Success Resources, and he has been handling events na 10,000, even 70,000 people. No, events nila Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, those types of people, no. And one advice that really struck me the most is this, no. Sabi niya, Fibo, more sales does not mean it's better. No, more customers does not mean it's better. More profit is better. So just imagine, this is the advice of somebody who has already done a room of 70,000 people. So far, yung nagawa ko pa lang is 2,000 people, pero that made me look at things differently. So, hindi ibig sabihin if someone was able to do 10,000 people in a room, mas better yun. And that's when I realized na, yun more doesn't always mean it's profit. Ngayon, especially if you're still starting, no, malamang hindi naman unlimited yung capital mo. If you follow this advice sa mga insect, no, madali kang malugi. Kasi, ito kasi mga insect, the advantage kasi nila is most of their wealth is inherited. And they started with millions already in the bank. So, they can basically have this mindset of, okay lang konti kita basta dami benta. Pero tayo kasi wala naman tayong capital at the start, di ba? How I did it was I really had to sell high profit things, no? My supplement was a high profit thing, my e-commerce business was a high profit thing, my services is a high profit thing. Pag sinabi kong high profit, it's like I have to make 80% profit from this. And I know your mindset. Pag masaya ka na sa 10% profit, 20% profit, my gosh, like that's the reason why you're poor. So I want you to look at business differently starting today. Because the goal of business is not to get as much customers. Yes, it's to serve customers, pero how can you serve them if you don't have much profit? Profit allows you to expand your business, to hire people, to invest in marketing, to do a lot of things. And you can only make profit if you design your business with profitability from day one. Ngayon, you might be asking, no? How about like SM or how about Camellia Homes, no? Tina-target nila yung mga masa. Ngayon, I want you to understand na okay lang mag-target ng mga masa kung marami ka ng kapital. And the reason they're able to do that, it's because of what they call economies of scale. Ibig sabihin, pag malaki ka na, pag marami ka ng customers, okay ka na mag-drop ng price kasi you can now negotiate on prices eh. For example, kung meron kang e-commerce business, pag yung orders mo umabot ng 1,000,000, you can source that at a cheaper price compared lang kung maliit ka na negosyante. Does that make sense? Kaya starting today, don't focus on sales, focus on profit. And lastly, number 7, maghanap ka ng passive income. Pag may nag-advise yan sa'yo, tamad ang kausap mo. Okay, may quick analogy ako sa'yo, no? Kung gusto mong yumaman, okay, anong gagawin mo? Option A, you invest your money in a time deposit and you earn 3% per year passively. Okay, kung magkano yung savings mo ngayon, invest mo yan, and kumikita ka ng 3% per year passively. Or option B, you become the Taylor Swift in your industry and then you make 1 billion pesos per concert. pero active income. Okay, anong pipiliin mo? Assuming isa lang ang pwede mong gawin. Option A, you invest your current money and then you make 3% per year. Or option B, nagtatrabaho ka pero kumikita ka ng 1 billion pesos per concert. Most likely, pipiliin mo yung option B. Tama? Kahit active income? Yes. Why? Kasi mas malaki yung kikitain. So, quick story, no? When I was 18, I already learned how to invest in the stock market. Kailangan mo, para makapag-open ka ng account, was 5,000 pesos. So, at that time, 5,000 pesos was my entire savings. So, what happened is I invested money in the stock market and I was so excited. And then after a year, voila, my money made 20%. And 20% actually in the stock market is really good. And at that time, it was a good time. Okay? Yung average lang ngayon ng stock market sa mga 7% na lang. Okay? Pero, ang point ko lang is, my 5,000 earned 20%, which is not common. That's 1,000 pesos. So I made 1,000 pesos a year. Kung per month mo yun, that's just like less than 100 pesos. And that is a time na sobrang ganda ng market. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, instead of just investing in the stock market, why don't I just use my 5,000 pesos somewhere else? So what happened was I invested it in advertising. At that time, I didn't have a product. So yung ginawa ko is I became an affiliate. So I was selling other people's products and I was earning a commission in return. So sabi ko, and at that time, the commission was 1,000 pesos for every product that I sold. So what happened was I just tested 50 pesos in advertising. That was the minimum amount. And my 50 pesos generated one sale. Basically, yung 50 pesos ko naging 1,000 pesos. So sabi ko, why don't I just invest more? So I invested from 50, naging 100 pesos, naging 500 pesos, naging 1,000. And today, we have already spent millions and millions per month in advertising. In fact, in a lifetime, we've already spent over 9 figures in advertising. Especially when you're still starting. Probably masasabi ko, if you have less than 100 million pesos cash right now, stop looking for investments. Yes, you have money and be okay to have money in the bank. I mean, hindi ka lang komportable kasi akala mo kasi natutulog kasi yung pera ko. Pero okay lang yung natutulog. Like, okay lang na kain na sa inflation. So what? It's because when you start finding ways to invest your money, you get distracted to your main thing that's making you money. In fact, that's your business. Now, you have extra money. Sure. What you can do, you upskill yourself. Learn about invest in trainings, courses, seminars, or hire better people, or invest it to improve your brand. That's what you do. Stop investing in real estate, stocks, and other things. I mean, you can do that kung sobrang laki na ng capital mo na to the point it doesn't make sense if hindi mo na siya i-invest. However, no, meron akong kakilala, kumita lang ng 100,000, kumita lang ng 1,000,000. Saan ko ba to i-invest? Like, stop just investing it. Just keep it as cash. That's your war chest para you can be aggressive in business.